Hey, today I'm going to do a comparison between the Urevo, Yemsd, and the Freepi walking pads here. Show you all you need to know, the similarities, differences, and overall which one I prefer, and I'll rank them from best to worst. And first off, I want to just say that I have been walking 10,000, 20,000 steps for the past year, and it's helped me lose about 40 pounds. And I'll show you my step count for the day today. So about 12,500. And I usually do about 12, 15,000. These have been a huge help because I work from home, and so I use it at my desk, and also we'll have one in our family room. If we're watching TV, I can use it. Now, off the bat, just noticing the differences. The width on the Urevo is bigger than both the other ones. The Yemsd is the shortest of the three in length. And one thing that I highly recommend is having these furniture sliders on the bottom of them, especially if your place is carpet. Our entire place is carpet, so I move these around a lot. Have one under our couch, and then anytime I want to move it from under the desk, so I can move my chair to the desk, these make it a huge difference. So just being able to like move them around with my foot or anything like that, like I barely have to put any pressure, and I could just slide them around, kind of give it a little push, and it'll slide a little bit. So those make a huge difference in my opinion. Now let's first talk about the remotes. So I got the three remotes here, and this is the Yemsd remote, this is the Freepi remote, and this is the Urevo remote. They all three have this little strap that you can use around your wrist, despite the fact that for me, they're a little bit too small. Can't quite get them over my hand. These ones expand, so I probably could, but it might break, and our cat likes to chew on the silicone material, so he's already broken the Freepi one, as you can see here. So this one will probably end up breaking soon too. This one isn't a silicone material, but it's too small, I can't get it on. Now, both of these have the battery already included in the Freepi and the Urevo. This one, the Yemsd, requires two AAA batteries, so it doesn't have them included, so I had to use my own. Just keep that in mind. And let's go ahead and test them out. So we're gonna test them out for see how loud they are, or see how quiet they are, I should say, and then just the different features. So you have a pause button on these two. So we're gonna start with the Yemsd. So let's turn it on. So it starts at a 0.8 speed, and it goes up by 0.1 each time. So we're gonna go up to a 2.0. So I like that it goes up by 0.1, which is unique because the other ones go up by 0.2. Shows you the time, the distance, the speed, and the calories on it. So it rotates through them. If you want to, you can select which mode you want. Now let's go to the next one. We're gonna go to the Urevo next. So this one starts on a 0.6, goes up by 0.2. I will say that the 2.0 feels a lot faster on this one compared to the Yemsd. It also shows you your steps, which I think is really cool. So if I was using it and I wanted to just keep it on the steps, I can go right to that, which I think is a really cool function. Now you can also pause it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. And the bad thing about pausing it though is when you resume it, it's gonna continue at the speed that you were at instead of starting at the start speed of 0.6. So it's gonna start zooming. So just keep that in mind. If you're going at a fast speed, like don't just step on it thinking that it's gonna start at the starting speed. I would recommend to lower it before you step on it. Just do a more comfortable speed. Just be careful with that. But it is cool that it does have a pause button for it. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that one off. And now we have the Freepi. So I would say between the Urevo and the Yemsd was quieter. This one also starts at a 0.6. We're gonna go up to 2.0. Another thing I recommend is if you're working at your desk, it's gonna be really hard to type and do stuff on the computer while you're walking at a fast speed. So I usually keep it between 1 and 2. This one also goes up to a high speed of 3.8, the same as the Yemsd, and the Urevo goes up to 4.0. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this. I think that this one is the quietest, but I feel like it was faster than the Yemsd, so they might sound similar, but overall I think the Freepi is the quietest. Now next I want to talk about is the oil and adjusting the belts. So when you need to add oil to it, the Freepi has this is the one difference, is it has this little extender. So you need to loosen the belt in order to lift it up so you can get it to the middle, but you almost don't even need to do that when you have this, because you can kind of just lift it up a little bit and then get it towards the middle of the belt and go ahead and use that oil on it, which is a really cool thing about that. So I usually just use this one for all of them, but I'll show you how you would normally do it. So you would take the tool that it comes with, or just a screwdriver, and you're gonna go ahead and loosen the belt. So there's 2 different ones on the Freepi. So you wanna go ahead and loosen the belt, and it's gonna make it so you can lift it up higher and get your hand and get the oil to the middle of the belt. You'll just use a little bit, and then what I recommend is you turn it on, walk on it a little bit, and then add a little bit more as you go and kind of just get the feel until it's running smoothly. Now another really important thing is when I got the Freepi, I had to realign the belt because the belt was veered off to the right, so it was deviated. And so it gives you instructions how to do that. I'll just show you the picture real quick. So on the last page, it tells you which ways to turn, and I used the one to the right. So I went ahead and turned this one that way, and then that one this way. And I just did it a few times and then turned it on, and I watched as it moved. And then once it got to a good spot, I was done. I left it as is. So just keep that in mind. But overall, these are all great options. They all have the same length cord. They all work really well. Being heavier myself, I haven't had any issues with the weight capacity or feeling anything. Just keep on top of the maintenance and adjusting the belt as needed. But if I had to choose, I would say that I prefer the Freepi for those reasons. Oh, one last thing I forgot about the Freepi is you actually can make it inclined with these pins here. So that you can actually make it up to a 0.4 or a 4.0 incline by unscrewing these ones and putting in these ones on both sides. And then that gives you an option to incline as well, which I haven't used yet, but it's cool that you have that option. So for all those reasons that I listed, because when you resume the Freepi, instead of starting at the speed like that you were on, like the Urevo, it starts at the starting speed, which I think is a lot safer and a lot smarter. So I have to choose that one first, then I go with the Urevo second, and then the Yemsd third.